Greetings, greetings, everyone. Linda Talaferro here. In this episode of Being Brown at Work, I'm going to focus on something that might not be popular. You might not like what you hear, but I truly believe it's necessary to talk about. So, for a lot of us in our corporate journey, we tend to make decisions at certain points in the journey that I don't believe we think totally through. Those decisions usually come around those frustration points, right? So you've been in your role, let's say 18 months, 2 years. You haven't gotten promoted yet. So you get frustrated, you leave. You're like, they don't see my worth, they don't see my value, I'm out. Or you've been in your role 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, and you've been working extremely hard, getting a lot of work done. Work product is all that. And I know you've heard me talk about that before. And you're doing just that, getting a lot of really good work done. You're not being selected for the next opportunity. So you decide they can't see my value. I'm leaving this team. I'm going to the next team over here. Or I'm out of this company. I'm moving on. 3, 5 years in the role. First of all, I titled this What I Did for a Reason. I've heard a famous person say this. You may have heard the same person say this. Don't confuse movement with progress. So the fact that you've been doing all of that hard work, you moving all over the place, but it's not progressing you forward because you've missed those other critical things that are necessary above and beyond the work product. And yes, I'm beating this drum again at the beginning of this episode because it's critically important for us to really understand the difference. Don't confuse movement with progress because you can run in place and go nowhere. That's what that famous person said several years ago. It has stuck with me ever since because he was so right. You cannot confuse movement with progress because, like I just said, running in place, you're moving. You are moving. Those of us that run, I shouldn't say us because I'm not a runner, but those people that go to the spa, go to the gym and they're on those treadmills, they're killing it. Running in place, going nowhere, right? But that's for their health and their heart and they're doing all that good stuff. They're not going anywhere. It's the same for us in our careers. We really get confused around the fact that we think that if we leave this job that we've had today for 2 or 3 years and we go to that next company, that somehow that change is going to automatically equate into promotions. It's going to automatically equate into something completely different than what we had in the previous role. But then we get to that next job, we get to that next role. We're in that for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and it's the same. And wait a minute, we're looking around, we're looking back, we're like, wait a minute, this is familiar. This is familiar because I was in the previous job for 2 years, 3 years, didn't move, didn't get the upward mobility, decided they didn't know what they were talking about or doing, so I left. And now I'm in this other role in this new company. I've been here now 2 years, 3 years, maybe 5, still nothing. Okay, so that's my second move. I'm gonna move again because clearly everybody else is wrong. They clearly are not seeing what I see, what I know. So I'm gonna move again. And we do that. We job hop, bright and shiny things, job hop, thinking that is the solution to the issue or the problem of not getting those next level opportunities, not getting promoted. We believe changing companies, changing jobs is the solution. And all that is going to do, I'm telling you, just like running in place and going nowhere, that is going to do nothing but continue to frustrate you, because that movement is clearly not progress. And so I'm offering to you in this episode to really take a step back and flip that mirror around and assess what is consistent about all these moves I've made. Me. I've changed atmospheres, I've changed cultures, I've changed companies, I've changed roles, but the consistent thread in all of that is me. So maybe the issue isn't yet those companies. Maybe there's some opportunity within me that I need to address. Now, I say this each and every time when I'm pushing the envelope and I'm pushing those buttons, and I know people are like, yeah, but Linda, you don't understand. This corporate culture that I'm in right now, this company is toxic. Put those aside. We do have those out there. Granted, got that. And you shouldn't stay in toxic environments. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about when you decide after 2 years or 3 years, because you are not moving like you believe you should, and you decide, I'm going to go to the next company, I'm going to go over here, because clearly over here they must know what I know because the previous company didn't. So I'm going to go. And then when we go, we get there and the same thing, the exact same thing happens. That's what I'm talking about. That's confusing movement with progress. Truly, you'll change the environment. Absolutely. Truly, you get a fresh start. Absolutely. I would venture to guess that if that's all you do and you do nothing else, you won't see progress, because it's the other missing links to the chain, the other missing pieces to the puzzle that you've totally ignored. And like I said, you make all those movements 3, 4, 5 times to different jobs, different companies. The consistent thread is you. So everybody else can't be wrong. Everybody else can't have issues. I would offer you to reflect and to start looking inward and looking at, okay, what was I missing? What could I have done differently? Let me go and search that out. Let me go and understand and learn that, bridge the gap, and stop this constant movement, constant job hopping. That's getting me nowhere but additional frustration, greater and greater frustration. Definitely not getting you that next level promotion. So this is not a long episode because I don't think it has to be, in this particular episode. I think it's very, very clear, very, very to the point. Clearly and to the point. You cannot confuse movement with progress. Movement, progress, two different things. Totally two different things. And I'd like for you to really seriously stop running in place. Stop running in place. Do the extra effort, do the hard work, peel back that onion, understand what some of your opportunities and gaps are, address those right where you are. If you're not in a toxic environment, address those right where you are. Then you start to see progress because you have strengthened your emotional intelligence. Yes, because you become now more self-aware, right? Because you're not pointing the finger everywhere else and jumping everywhere. You become more self-aware. So you're strengthening that part of your emotional intelligence. Oh, and you're building relationship. So you're relationship aware. That's strengthening your emotional intelligence. Your social management is strong. And then that foundation is really strong. And then you move into the executive presence piece. And then all of a sudden, you've got people tapping you on your shoulder. You no longer are struggling, frustrated in this downward spiral, don't understand why no real progress is happening because you've been doing all kind of moving. Now you're doing the right type of work and you're intentionally focused in the right areas. Hence, progress happens. So I'm going to say this one last time. Really want it to set in, really sit with it for a while. Don't confuse movement with progress, because you can run in place and go nowhere. And you've heard me mention a famous person said that. I'm giving him his total props because he was so on point. And that was Denzel Washington. Years ago said that. Resonated with me. I would like for it to sit in and resonate with you. And then you do the necessary work so that you do see progress. Take good care.